Okay, thank you. So, hi, I'm Philip. I'm part of the institute called Today is a New Day. And what we decided to do was to try and build something that we've dreamed about for about a year or two now, but we never actually took the time. So we started working on this on Monday. We literally had, so I read the Solidity documentation Monday night, and then Tuesday morning we had a Solidity course, and everything we built in these 2 days. And what we built is something that we call Humans.Vote, a secure voting system for everyone. Now, what's important here to note before we continue is that voting matters, not just in terms of you being a member of a democracy and having to go to elections every 4 or 5 years, but voting happens at every single instance of our daily lives. Every single time we try to cooperate with someone in different ways, a sort of voting will happen. If we're discussing design ideas, if we're making software design decisions, if we're even deciding who we're going to take out for lunch to or where we're going to eat, a voting situation takes place. Now, these are all trivial examples, but there's a bunch of organizations all around the world that have actual voting needs where their members need to make consensus-based decisions or majority-based decisions for a variety of different issues. They might not be able to come together, they might want to work virtually, or maybe they just don't have the resources to organize, or even the government prevents them from organizing in a public space. And what they need is a voting mechanism and a deliberation mechanism that is secure and safe for them. And this is what we built. So what was the problem that we tried to tackle? So firstly, voting process is the cornerstone of any democracy, or any sort of organization, but online voting is not secure enough or secure at all, and it's almost never implemented. Now, secure blockchain-based voting systems are simple in theory, and there's a bunch of examples how you implement them, but they are hard to do in practice for a variety of different reasons. The first one being that the technology of blockchain is currently impenetrable to a random computer guy who might be able to set up a server but doesn't have the resources or the time to engage in the study that is needed to understand everything that needs to happen. The second thing that is problematic is that even though we talk about blockchain networks as decentralized, meaning that a lot of nodes are computing these things and then voting on the results of them, real decentralization doesn't happen as long as we have massive monopolized networks like Bitcoin and Ethereum. So for instance, even though Ethereum allows us to write smart contracts and to engage in voting procedures, we have to pay for the computing cycles with actual money or with ethers to people who are not intrinsically motivated. So what we identified here is that there's a group of computing problems that can be decentralized and paid for by the people themselves because they are intrinsically motivated. So for instance, if we decide to run a blockchain voting system for our next election in Slovenia, a lot of the citizens are going to be intrinsically motivated to offer up a mining node in order to participate in the checking of this result. They don't need to be paid in ether, and they don't need to be paid in actual money. The reward is actually intrinsically validating the actual voting results. That's why in this sense, it makes a lot of sense to set up a private blockchain network or a private Ethereum network where you're not bound by the actual finances, by actual fiat that you have to use to buy Ethereum, but you can legitimately provide computing powers and electricity directly to handle your transactions and to make voting happen. So what is the solution? We call it Humans.Vote. It's available on Humans.Vote, and we invite you to try it out. And it's basically a plug-and-play setup of your own blockchain voting solution. So we have 2 things. One is native mobile apps that connect to a private blockchain and are able to interact with a variety of contracts, allowing you to set up an organization that is private or a public. You can set up different voting rules, and all of these are then deployed as smart contract and allow you to interact with them. Now, this means that people can be members of different organizations with one of their wallets and interact with proposals governed by different rules. The second part of this solution is the actual backend installation procedure, so the way you set up a private network, which is now as simple as typing in a single command. So if you're going to go to our GitHub repository, you're going to see that you need to just pull the code and type in setup.sh, and everything will be set up for you. So literally when we timed it, we can do everything. So going from 0, not even having an operating system installed, up to having a fully fledged voting system in less than 15 minutes. So how does this work right now? So this is the design that we drew that we didn't implement completely. If you're going to open the app, you're going to see that it's black and white and blue and not purple and yellow, and that the buttons aren't as pretty as they are here, but all of the functionality is there. So if you're a voter, you show up and you download the wallet and you show it to a party official. We decided that the first way we want to implement proof of life or proof of existence is the fact that you're going to have to go somewhere face to face, and that person is going to scan your code, and that's going to be a confirmation that you are an actual real person, a citizen of this country, or whatever things that need to be satisfied. Then you're going to get a list of motions. These motions can have abstract or extra information added to them, and then you vote on these motions. Now, what we're looking at right now is the admin view. So we have a person who is a member of the organization committee, organizing committee, or the chief of the party, or even the president of the parliament that issues new voting motions, that is now able through this app to issue new voting motions that people can then vote on. They can choose different ways in which people are going to vote on these motions and basically do whatever they want to do. So how does this work? As we've already said, it works like WordPress, but better. And now in 2 minutes, I'm going to show you how we actually made this work. Just let me stop sharing the screen. Can you see me again?
Yes,
hello, everyone.
We can see you.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have 2 phones here who have just run the app Humans.Vote. It says, hello, this is your wallet. So I'm going to sign in on both of them. I just push a button. And now I've signed in. That's it. All right. So what I have right now is I have an automatically deployed contact called demo voting on both of these phones. This one is the admin. So I can now press view the contract and I can say new proposal. And I'm just going to say presentation. This is what it looks like. I'm going to click submit. And now this is being actually mined on the blockchain. So there is no API in between. There's no data that's stored anywhere except on the blockchain. And once this proposal is going to be mined, it's still mining, but it should be done in about 10 seconds. I can take this proposal and I can see what happens with it. Just a moment. It's still mining. I'm so sorry. Mining, mining, mining. But basically what I'm going to do is as soon as this is mined, I will be able to take the other phone and click on vote, which is going to ask me for the proposal number, which I know is 4 because I'm already setting it up. I'm going to say that I'm for this proposal, which says testing, and then I'm going to write a justification, which is just going to be a silly string. And once I click submit, that vote is going to be submitted. And that's it. We skipped one step, which is adding users or members to the organizations. We did that already, but if you go to the GitHub repository, there's a link with a test scenario where the only thing you have to do is download the app and you can start voting on our test network. And if you want to do it on your own private network, then you can be done in 15 minutes. So what we hope this will enable people to do is to actually deploy voting systems at scale, as high or as low as they want, with 0 cost involved in this, except for the electricity of running the actual computers, which people already do. That's it.